art of the peace first. I'm going to start off with that. Right? So this is for you to clear your mind, come in here and let's get ready. So if you have not linked yourself to true emptiness, you will never understand the art of peace. What does that mean? That pretty much means that if you have not let go of everything that you once knew, this material world and material things, let go of the stronghold of having to have, or the trends and everything else in this world that says it makes you a individual or make you important. If you have not let go of that, you will never understand the art of the peace, because you'll always worry about something. So, welcome to Trinity of Fitness Bootcamp. I'm your instructor, Coach Nye, and here today we're going to be finishing up the 31-day inner transformation. Thank you, God. The 31-day inner transformation, and today we are on day 27. Day 27 is the embodiment, becoming your healed self. I'm so excited to teach this class today. I'm so excited. I kept this at the end of the course. It's 31 days. Today is day 27, and the reason I did that is because I've been teaching you guys how to heal. That's what I've been teaching you guys for the last couple of years, how to heal, different techniques, different tools, right? But after you heal, then what? Because a lot of people think that, oh, I healed, so that means that I should be doing this, or I should be making the money, or I should be doing that, and the third. Well, let me give you an example. For all these years, I do the Trinity of Fitness, which is the spiritual, mental, and the physical. So I'm a personal trainer. I teach people how to become physically fit and build a shelf. This is what the ladies like. So this is what I specialize in that. However, I did that, right? Cool. Then I motivational spoke for a long time. I encouraged. I did those things, and I was doing well. That's how I went from having like 3,000 followers, just like, and stand there, to overnight becoming not overnight, but a couple of months, I fell into the 10,000, right? And the reason why I fell into the 10,000 is because now there's an action to it. You have to become. After the heal, then what? I motivational spoke, and I did these things to help you get to where you need to be. But it wasn't until I evolved. After healing, you have to evolve, meaning you have to become the person that you are striving to be. It's not that you just heal and you start living a good life. See, that's the fake it till you make it, but you don't understand that's what you're doing. What happens is you step into that and you say, well, I'm doing good. I'm not doing the same things anymore. God, I'm pouring into my business. But God, where's the millions? Where's the followers? Where's this? Where's the success? Where's all these things? And it's still within you. That's the part you haven't tapped into you. And tapping into you is where the inherent is, where the money is, where the success is. What do I mean by that? Is becoming, evolving into that person. So then I went from, hey, welcome in. Well, I went from just being a motivational speaker to being the person to teach. I said, I'm going to save the world. Well, how do I save the world? By teaching people how to heal. Well, I get on here and motivational speak. No, I had to become her. Meaning that now I teach you guys. Now I go to seminars. Now I hold conferences. Now I do those things because I had to become her. But if I never stayed connected with God, I would have missed those opportunities because I would have been waiting on God to bring me something. That's the controlling of how things come in. You ask God for something and then you want to control how it come in. So instead of me trying to control it, I just went ahead and allowed God to show me. How did I allow God to show me? By resting and trusting Him, resting in peace, resting and knowing that God got me. I just need to stay focused. First one we're going to talk about is acting like the person you're becoming. How do you act like the person you're becoming? Well, acting like the person you're becoming means aligning your daily choices with the version of you you're growing into, not the version that's shaped by your past wounds. What does that mean? The person that you're every day you're choosing to choose the correct path, the correct people, the correct things, right? You choose the things that is going to align with the person you're growing into or have become. Not the person that is shaped by your past wounds. What does that mean? The survival you. We all were raised to survive. I want you to look at us. Humans and animals are not too far apart from each other, right? Animals, what happens is, let's look at the lions, the lioness. They have their babies. They raise them. They protect them in the beginning because they know no better. They can't defend themselves. But as they get a little bit older, they teach them how to survive in this world. The same with humans. Our parents taught us from a place of survival. Some of our parents never got out of the survival mindset. So since they never got out of the survival mindset, what happened, it kept us in the survival. We didn't know there was another side, the true, authentic you. That's the healed part of you. When people say, I'm healing, but do you understand what you're healing from? Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the shares. Thank you for the follows. Do you understand what you're healing for? The whole purpose of healing is to get you back to your true, authentic self, who God created you to be, who you were born to be. You were born on purpose, in purpose. But because your bloodline never got out of the survival mode, you never tapped into or even understood that that is possible for you to be healed. It's impossible because you know nothing about it. The unknown will either threaten you or bring fear, bring chaos, because it's unknown. Never heard of it. So today, because you're healed, you're choosing daily to find things that's going to align with this new person, this new you, right? We're not bringing, and this is so important as you move forward. I didn't say go up, climbing the ladder of success. That is something that was spoken to us to give an illusion, because the human mind, how it processes, we have to make it make sense. We have to have this visual of making it make sense. If God told us to go forward, knock on the door and it shall open, we have to visualize that thing. So if I want to be successful, I've already visualized, okay, God, I need to knock on this door. This is where I need to go. I need to go higher. Because where you are, I guess you think it's low, right? But the whole time, in reality, in your true authentic self, everything is in front of you. Everything is in front of you. That's why when you get to the top, a lot of people get to the top, they come back down real fast, because they took a shortcut to get to where they need to be. Listen, when you're walking up a mountain, it doesn't look like you're walking up the mountain like this. It looks like you're just walking straight forward. You may feel a little elevation, but you're walking straight forward, right? So the same way, if I'm going to go straight up to get to the top, I'm going to miss the lessons along the way. That's why it's so important to align yourself daily with people that's walking this path, not taking shortcuts, meaning hustling, doing whatever it is, tearing people down, cheating, scamming, all those. No. We don't want that. That's why when they get to the top, they can't maintain it, because their mind can't process or have the wisdom, knowledge, or understanding to keep anything that they have. It's immediately blow it, because they're going to handle it, right? They're going to handle their success the best way that they know how, from survival mode. A wise, successful person handles it from, first off, understanding, wisdom, teaching, learning, connecting themselves with people that are successful, connecting themselves, learning from them, not taking from them. Listen, a person that's in survival mode, you can offer them knowledge, you can offer them wisdom. They don't know any better or how to say, okay, I'm learning. Let me walk with you. Let's build this together. All they know is learn, snatch, take away, run. That's what they know. So you have to give people like that grace when you're healed. You have to give them grace. Yeah, they mistreated you, but they don't know any better. Your job is to teach them by continuing to be. So every day you have to choose daily to align yourself with things that are going to help you grow. Growth starts with identity, not perfection. This is another lesson learned as you evolve into her or him. Is growth starts with identity. Who are you? Not perfection. Not me coming on here being perfect. Guess what? I may stutter. I may, skip a word. I may mess up a word. I don't know. I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect at all. But growth is me identifying that, hey, I made a mistake. Because what I taught you in healing, perfectionism comes from people pleasing. You're trying to be perfect. That comes because you used to people please. That's a people pleasing trait, right? So if I mess up while I'm speaking to you guys, I'm not going to, I messed up, get shamed, become shameful, or wanting to get off the live, or constantly overly explaining why that happened, or I'm not, or apologizing. I'm not doing any of that. because I understand that people make mistakes. I'm not the only one. No one's looking at me like this. Well, it might be some people. There's some people out there that just look at you and comb through with a fine tooth comb, and they look at everything microscope. They look at everything that you do because they want to say flawed, scam, because it helps them. Listen, when people do that, it helps them. It helps them feel better and comfortable with your success because they can't take your success. But if they can see the flaws in your success, it makes them feel better. That, okay, she's not better than me or he's not better than me. Carry on, right? So with that, you have to understand perfection. That's a people-pleasing skill. You have to give yourself grace. Okay, everyone makes a mistake. Keep going. Because growth, you can't help but become better. Now, small, consistent actions reinforce who you are becoming. Small things. A lot of people think healing is, okay, I'm going in and I'm about to heal everything right away. Everything is going to be healed right away, right? And you go in and you say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is the person I'm going to be. And it only lasts for a little bit, baby. It's just like a New Year's resolution. It's only going to last for a little bit. Eventually, you're going to revert back to who you are, your original survival self, because you're not taking it serious because you don't understand. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the shares. Thank you for the follows. You don't understand the importance of healing. I thought healing was you just don't do it again. You learn a lesson and you just don't do it again. Ta-da, I'm healed. I didn't know any better. That's what I thought. Like, okay, I learned my lesson. I'm just not going to do that anymore. I'm going to do better this time. That's not what that is. Healing is a place of getting to the root of why did you do that in the first place? Why did you think that's okay? Getting to the root of who are you? Not, okay, I'm no one to be played with. No, baby. Who are you? Who did God bring you into this world to be? Who are you? Let's reel that in. So I had to get to the root of it. I had to go back to my childhood imagination, right? When I was a child, what I imagined, what God showed me. See, everybody else said it was your imagination, but that wasn't your imagination. That was you remembering who you are, of God telling you this is what you're supposed to be. So getting to the root of it, of healing, is understanding that everything that you've been told, it's not that it was a lie. It was to help you survive. Because why wouldn't I teach my kids how to survive? I want to see them live a long life. Would I rather teach them how to survive or how to be healed? Because in an unhealed mindset, in a survival mode mindset, I'm looking at healed is, baby, you're going to get hurt over and over and over. And I'm not going to be there to protect you all the time. So I'm going to teach you how to survive. It is you understanding that, wait a minute, my whole life is not that it's a lie. It's just my whole life is made up. This whole life I've been living is fake and made up. This is not real. Wait a minute. So my whole life is not real. This was just something to keep me in the motion of not being hurt or not being torn down or not being, okay, got it. That is what the healing is. Get into your true authentic state. What is your true authentic state? People think it's the new me, new year, new me. It's not a new you. This is who you were meant to be, who you were created to be. It's your true authentic self. It's not a new you. The new you was the survival. That was new. The original state of who you are is your healed version, which is your true authentic self. Now, you practice the future self before it feels natural. What does that mean? Practicing the future self before it feels natural. What it says here, each aligned choice teaches your nervous system what's safe, possible, and next. Let me explain that to you. Your nervous system. Because everybody talk around it. This is how the enemy infiltrate everything. The enemy like you to focus on everything else. God created us. Do you understand? Think about your nervous system. God created this nervous system, right? We just look past it as, oh, well, maybe it's this or maybe it's that. No, maybe it's God trying to talk to you. God created us with a nervous system. He created our body that it can heal itself. He created us with a mind so we can think for ourselves. He created all these things for us so we can see, so we can smell, we can hear, we can speak, our tongue. He created all this. So why are we neglecting the nervous system? I want you to look at your nervous system as your cup. When God fills your cup, it overflows. Your nervous system, when your nervous system is balanced, when your nervous system is shook up, when your nervous system when you saying, oh, I felt something in my stomach, it was butterflies. Baby, God created the nervous system for a reason. That's the spirit of discernment that's within you. Your nervous system is your discernment. Now that I break it down that way, it makes you think, right? So each aligned choice teaches your nervous system what's safe, possible, and next. Because now you have to relearn your nervous system. I'm sorry if I'm too loud. I got a mic now and I keep forgetting I got a mic. So now, as you step away from the survival self, right? Who you were raised to be all these years, you were taught to be this person, and you stepped into your true authentic self, which is the healed version who God created you to be. Now you have to reteach your nervous system. Meaning that before, if that happened, you get butterflies in your stomach. For you will recognize it as, oh, something bad is about to happen. Because it's from a survival state. And really, it was nothing bad. It's just that because you were raised to think that that was bad, that's how you reacted. You ran from it with fear. This is how the enemy infiltrates and come in and ruin and basically ruin the whole thought process and the knowing process. Because what the enemy do is he play with words. He play with things. He have you sitting around talking about what is I match energy. Huh? Okay, I match energy. Well, I'm going up against the enemy, the devil himself. And I'm going to tell the devil, oh, I match energy. Come on with it. Huh? You see, when you say it out loud, you really think about it. I'm not matching no energy. And then he even came up with this one. Oh, if you go low, I'm going to hell. Huh? He needs company. Or you could go low, I'm going to go high. Huh? It sounded good, right? I'm going high, I'm going to take the high road. No. Let me tell you what you just did. I'm taking the high road. Well, what is the high road? Now you're hiding. You're not going to speak your truth, which is still going to keep you in a place of being unhealed. Because if you never acknowledge a person that's coming towards you with negativity, right? If you never respond correctly, if you react to it, if your way of taking a high road is to say, oh, I'm going to take the high road because I'm not reacting to that. We're not reacting. Reacting is an unhealed version of yourself. Responding is the correct way. What I'm going to do is continue to go forward. I'm going to continue to go forward, but I'm going to respond to this foolishness because I need to make sure that you understand you will never disrespect me like that again. Here are my boundaries. Do you understand? That is how you defeat the enemy. Y'all call him narcissistic. That is how you defeat the enemy. By saying, no, wait a minute. When they were, no, you are not allowed to speak to me that way. You will never speak to me ever again unless you change the way you speak. I require a certain type of language when you're talking to me and a certain type of emotions behind that language when you're speaking to me. I'm not running and taking no high road and ignoring you to make you look less than. Thank you so much. I'm not doing that. You're going to respect me. I used to say you're going to respect me by choice or force. And if I got to force it about you, it's going to be a problem. But I realized that was a very unhealed way to, basically I was threatening him. But I meant every word I said, but where was that going to get me? Now, you will never have the opportunity to have a conversation with me because I know my self-worth. Okay? So, each aligned choice teaches your nervous system what's safe, possible, and next. Now that you're healed, now when you get that feeling, you don't equate it to something bad is going to happen. You equate it to God is speaking to you. Now you need to listen. Whichever way. For me, my ears are open, my eyes are open. I'm watching my surroundings because he's trying to get my attention. It doesn't mean something bad is going to happen. It means that if I don't pay attention, I may miss what he's trying to bring to me. Okay? So remember this. You don't wait to become. You practice. Meaning that in order to evolve, you have to practice, which is start doing. Start doing, and that is how you become. Versus you sitting around and waiting on God and saying, this is how the enemy gets you. I'm going to leave you with this one. This is how the enemy gets you. They said go in the waiting season. Ask God for it and go in the waiting season. I want to clear that up. I want to clear this up right now, right here. I need you to understand this. When you ask God for something, there's no waiting room. There's no waiting season. Let me tell you why. Because you sit and you say, a lot of people don't even like, if I sent you to the store right now and it was two people in front of you and all you was getting was a pack of gum, you would just throw it down like, man, forget it, I'm gone, I'm out of here. You don't like waiting. You don't have the patience. Why would God make someone that's waiting that don't have patience? And people say, he's teaching me patience. Baby, that ain't what God teaching you. What God needs you to understand is trust him. Listen to me very carefully. You ask God for something, you go rest, knowing that it is so, and you continue to operate as if it is so. The waiting season will have you sitting and saying, because what you're saying in the waiting season is, okay, God, all right. God said, I asked God for this. Now you want to control how God bring it into you. Okay, well, must got to go play the lottery. All of a sudden, it's taking too long. God, you take it too long. And then you go hustle. Then you do everything to get out of alignment. And now that you're out of alignment, whatever you gained out of alignment, you got to control it outside of his alignment. Do you understand? God is not that way. God is this way. Just like your parents. You ask your parents for something. You need some new cleats for soccer, football, whatever it is. You don't sit in their face. You don't go to your room. You wouldn't sit in there like, oh, I hope I get it. I hope I get it. I hope I get it. Where's it at? Where's it at? Maybe it's getting delivered. Maybe she surprised me. Let me go look in a truck. Let me go. No. You go on outside and play with your friends. Like, yep, it's coming. Even when practice coming, you ain't got your cleats. You ain't sitting around saying, oh, I don't have my cleats. What you telling is when the coach say, where's your cleats? Oh, my mom getting them. The coach already know not to ask any other questions because you said your mom getting it. The coach is not going to say, well, when is she? Well, when is it? Because he understands the same way with God. When you ask God for something, that's how you just got to go. Rest knowing that it'll be so. You don't go and ask and say, God, when? You become. Don't worry about how it's going to come. You continue to operate. So with me, I continue to operate. I do what I'm supposed to do. I don't worry about anything. I ask God for something. I know it's coming. I let go of control. I go rest knowing that it's going to be so. And then I go on about my business. And guess what? When I'm going forward and on my journey, it's going to come. And it's not going to come in the way that I thought it was going to come, like me winning $1 million. You know, it's not going to be in that I'm walking down the street and I'm going to get a duffel bag or somebody's going to say, hey, you should be a model. That's not how it's going to come. It's all of a sudden I get an opportunity that I was not expecting. I didn't even think twice about. That's how you know it's from God. And that's what's been happening in my life. And that's what I do. But the waiting season, let that go. Get out of that mindset because the enemy wants you in the waiting season. And when you're in the waiting season and you holding on to that, guess what the enemy doing? Okay, say less, say less. You think you waiting. I'm going to teach you how to hustle. Do you understand? Okay. Now, number 2. Embodiment practices. Embodiment practices are ways of bringing healing out of the mind and into the body. Out of the mind and into the body. Let's talk about it. They help you notice sensations, breath, and posture. Now, embodiment practice. I want to embody who I become, right? In order to evolve, you have to embody who you've become. So we talked about acting like the person you're becoming. And how do you embody that? Because a lot of people just heal and say, okay, I'm doing better. I'm not the same person anymore. Or the Christians that I done got saved and this is who I am. And then a couple of months later, they slide back and then they start linking up with people like, well, is circular music too bad? I mean, what do you think? Start asking people, well, what do you think God? People that's not even aligned with them. What do you think God feel about people doing this? And what do you think about this? And then they get out of alignment and then they go on about the business. But when you embody it, when you embody who you are becoming, that means that you can see me and you don't have to question, okay, what do she do? You know I do something serious. Baby, it don't matter. Even when I joined the military, when I was young in the military, I was a private in the military. And because the way I stood, the way my uniform was, the way my boots was, the way I carried myself, the way I was, if I didn't turn around, because at the time we wore our rank here, if I didn't turn around, you just wouldn't know. You would assume right? If you didn't see my rank, you would assume, and they would always say, man, I thought you were more than that. We got to put some more rank on those collars, because the way I carried myself, right? But me speaking, I didn't talk much. So it didn't match. So if I spoke, I didn't speak with confidence at all. But I looked the part though, but I hadn't embodied it yet. So that's what I'm saying. People will see you as I teach you how to stand, right? With confidence. Everything about me as I'm teaching says confidence, right? None of this. And I think that, and so embody and practice are ways of bringing healing out of the mind and into the body. So that's pretty much like, that's not me. That's not who I am. Not at all. Everything about me, I'm going to be confident in speaking what I'm speaking because it's innate, as we talk about. It's my natural nature. It's who I am. I have embodied Coach Nye. The thing is, I don't even say my real name anymore. They ask me who I am and I say Coach Nye. Because I have literally became her. I created her and she is alive and moving now. So that's how you do that. The breath, the sensation, the posture. I teach you how to have an open posture. That's confidence. That's being a leader. I teach leadership courses. Everything about this. Not when I say shoulders back, chest up, and you stand and you speak. You don't have to be like this. You don't have to show anybody. You don't have to prove or validate yourself to anyone. Yes, that's my authentic self. So, but because I was living in my survival self all these years, I always see myself being this, but I didn't know how to get here. So I would shut myself down, stay quiet, because my voice was aggressive. They would say aggressive. I was very direct. I was very confident. I was being my true authentic self, but people were so intimidated by it that I shunned it and shut it down. And then I had to, whoa, come on back here. This is what's needed in this time. I was ahead of my time pretty much, I guess. So they help you notice sensations, breath, and posture. They connect you to the present moment. I teach you guys about the present moment. You have to stay present. What is the present moment? It is the seconds. Staying in the seconds. We're not going minute by minute, day by day, hour by hour. Why do you think the enemy always make you stay away from the seconds? We never count the seconds. Think about that. Even growing up, we counted the seconds because they had to teach us what seconds was when we were in school. But we never take an account of the seconds. Why do you think the enemy have us living like that? Well, I'll tell you why. Because God is in the present time. God is in the seconds. God is in the seconds. The moment that you get out of is 2:26:01 seconds. The moment you get out of that and jump to 2:27, because that's what we do. Hey, what time is it? It could be 2:26:10 seconds. 2:27. We go ahead and set our alarm up an hour ahead. If we're setting the clock, we set it up a minute ahead. We do things like that because something about the present time just irks us. We don't want no parts of the present time. That's because the enemy knows what's in the present time. He knows the blessings, love, the joy, and the peace is in the present time. He knows these things. So therefore, hey, pretty and thriving, what's up, little sis? He knows that if you ever step into state present, then God will show up and you'll step into purpose. He'll make things clear to you. So that's why staying present, reconnecting with that present moment in the time that you're in right now, connecting to that is so important. This is where God speaks to you at. Okay, also, they teach the nervous system safety through experience, not thought. The embodiment practice is what we're saying. Embodying something teaches your nervous system safety through the experience, not the thought. Because once you step into your true authentic self, remember, you're stepping away from the survival mode where your nervous system knew how to react to things. Now things are brand new. Remember, your nervous system, God created this. He created our whole body, our nervous system. So it's not a nervous system. It's our discernment. It's what is needed. This is how he get our attention. It is your cup. Do you understand? This is who you are. God created you. These are the signals, the antennas, and everything that God needs when he needs to get your attention. So now that you're looking at it, now that you're stepping away from survival mode, the old way that you used to feel it is a thought process now. You need to change the way you think. This is an experience. Now through your experience, Your experiences are about to change now. Now that you stepped into the authentic you and away from the survival you, your experiences are about to change. Okay? So healing doesn't happen only by understanding. It happens by feeling and integrating. Embodiment turns insight into live changes. Okay? So the live changes in your life, the embodiment, right? And healing doesn't happen only by understanding. It happens by feeling and integration. By feeling and integration. So I feel it. I did. What is it? I came. I saw. I did. I am. Do you understand? That was the survival mode. You showed up. You saw. This is your reflection of yourself. You saw that the way you was living. Nah, I don't want that. I don't like this. Something happened. The awakening happened in dark night of the soul. I don't want this. I did. I healed. Now I evolve. I become. So after the healing, what's next is the embodiment of becoming. Okay? So I'm going to leave you with this. The body learns what the mind understands. The body learns what the mind understands. What are you processing now? Are you still processing nonsense? That's what your body gonna learn, how to react. If you're processing from a higher vibration and processing from being a better version of yourself, guess what your body is going to feel? More relaxed. Your nervous system will be more relaxed. You understand that when your nervous system, when you feel, oh, I feel like I got butterflies. It's not that. It's just that when I get butterflies, okay, God, what you need me to, what's happening? What do you need me to pay attention to? I need to understand what's going on. And the reason why I need to know what's going on is because you're giving me the signal for a reason, right? Okay, God, paying attention. Got it. So let's jump into number 3. Identity through action. Identity through action means who you become is shaped by what you repeatedly do, not just what you think or intend. Identity through action. Identity through action means who you become is shaped by what you repeatedly do, not just what you think or intend. Now, during the healing process, it's patterns and habits that you have to change. That's why I say healing is a forever thing. Now, you will not be healing the same thing forever and ever. You will not be healing everything all at once. It takes time. You got to remember, you were raised in survival. So since you came out the womb, you were raised in a way to live, right? So it made me think of that show my son had me watching, that Walking Dead. Mom, just watch it. Now the whole time, I never watched it when it was popping because I didn't want nothing to do with it. But because my baby said, Mom, watch it. I wish I could take back some of my time. But I couldn't understand, why did they have a baby during these times? I couldn't understand, because I'm thinking, like, who want to be intimate during these times? What make you see The Walking Dead and say, yep, let's be intimate? No! In my mind, I'm thinking. But what I looked at is the baby. The baby is born, and I'm like, okay. And as it got older, this baby is not scared of these things. They're not freaking out because they were born in it, meaning that they were raised to survive in that. So it's nothing to them. It's normal. But what's not normal is when they finally found a city that operated like a normal city, like the normal world, they couldn't adapt. So the same way with you. In your survival mode, it was normal to you. You were raised in it. But now as your healed version of you, you have to learn to adapt. And this is through your identity. Through the actions that you do, it shows your identity. So for me, teaching, it's my identity. Meaning that I can't just come on here, whip something up, teach you, and then go out and do and practice none of anything I'm teaching you. Listen, when I teach you what I'm teaching you, I take the time to make the notes. I take the time to study it. So as I'm teaching you, I've also taught myself. These are things that I went through, but to put the thought into it, right? Through my actions of doing more research on it, doing more studying on it, doing more ways of looking at it outside of the box. That is the identity through actions. It's not just what I think. I could tell you what I think, but is it going to help you? That's why I had to do more researches on the things that I talk about. Now, action reinforces beliefs about who you are, your actions. So if people are looking at you like, oh, this was the best one for me all the time. She not who she say she is. I am who I say I am. I'm just not who you say I am. I'm not who you think I am. I am who I say I am. And then what had to happen behind it is my actions. I continue to be grounded, balanced. A lot of people think when you heal, you're not supposed to listen to this, and you're not supposed to do this, and you're not supposed to do that, and you better not cuss, and you better not do any of that. Baby, let me tell you something. I did all that. I still listen to my Lil Wayne. I still listen to my Lil Boosie. I still listen to my I got all type of stuff. I'm old school though, right? And my favorite Fiend, that's my favorite rapper. That was my favorite rapper. Hey, don't judge me. That's my dude, right? So listen, I still listen to all that, and I will still get slick at the mouth, and I will still cuss. And let me tell you why. Because people think healing was about green plants and speaking softly and coming in and teaching you how to be the best version of yourself, changing who you are, looking at your children, picking them up, give them hugs, kiss them all day, ask them how was their day, sit in Proverbs 31 and read the book of Ruth and try and be this woman that God created me to be. Now let me open my Bible and speak it to you. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You have to remember, a lot of people don't understand what healing is. Healing is taking you from survival mode. Do you know how long it takes to disconnect from the survival mode? Because that's all you know. You don't know you need healing from it because this is who you are. So in my time, and I didn't force anything, and that's why it says never force change, allow change to happen. Meaning that I had to learn my nervous system. I had to learn that my nervous system is not my nervous system. Then my nervous system is not something that the scientists just created and said it was. It's what God created for me. I had to learn how to balance that. I had to also learn how to, okay, wait a minute. Does this align with what I'm doing? Because I'm embodying, I'm healing. I'm about to evolve. But does this align with me? Does this align with me? Will it hurt me to hear this? Now, when I would listen to my music, I'm like, okay, I'm having a good time. I get crunk. But that music is triggering something from my past. Meaning that when it's time for me to study, that music come on. You know how we do, right? We get all crunk. We get excited. We like, yeah. And then we get in our memory in our head about, oh, I remember when this song played, I did this and I was doing that, man, good old times. Now that's 2 hours away from what I was supposed to be doing. Then it goes on, you see, and it adds more things to it. And it's like, okay, now you want a Corona. Now you want your vape. Now you want to call your home girl and tell her, you remember this song, girl? We used to do some stuff to this. You see? So it takes time. So I had to learn that, okay, it's not that it's the music, it's what's triggering it in me that's keeping me from what I'm aligned to do. So that's why when I tell people, when you healing, you don't change everything. You don't know what to change. You're changing everything to fit in. You're still in an unhealed mindset because you're still changing to fit into an environment of what somebody said heal was. But what is healing for you? Go to God and ask him, what is it that you need to do? He's going to identify everything. So as time went on, I stopped having a desire for those things because now I'm fully in alignment. And then it was time for me to evolve, become her. So now it all matches. Now, will I cuss somebody out again? I don't know. I don't know. Is the cussing all the way out of me? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. However, I understand what's a trigger. I understand that I don't need to react and respond. Healing goes It's something in me that hasn't been triggered yet, and I don't know that I need healing from it, is what I'm trying to explain to you. You never know. But because you're training your mind that, hey, when old past things happen, you don't react anymore. You respond, and you respond correctly. So me cursing you out, it's not a good look. But I don't know what triggers haven't been triggered yet. And I'm not going to go deep dive to find out. I'll let them come when they need to come. Maybe I need to still heal some more. Who knows? But that's what healing is about. Right? So, we talked about small, consistent choices build self-trust. Small, consistent choices, meaning that small things, me changing small things about myself, I trust myself now. I trust myself that when I'm in a situation or when I'm somewhere, I won't react. I won't freak out. Okay? Behavior is how identity becomes real. That's self-explanatory. Because behaving, the way I behave is, it aligns with my purpose, which is now my identity. You're just going to see it. You don't wait to feel confident, healed, or ready. You act in alignment and the identity follows. I'm going to say that again. You don't wait to feel confident, healed, or ready. You act in alignment and the identity follows. Meaning that when you ask God for something, right? For me, I'm going to just use me as an example. I didn't do this, but here it is. I get on here, God, I'm doing videos. I've got this going on. I'm creating all this stuff and I'm doing this. But God, well, where is it? What's going on? Where should I find it? How can I be? No. I act as if it's already so. Because it is already so. I create my future. Your future, like someone said on here, your future is an illusion. And it really is. Until you make it a reality. By becoming. So you become who you practice being. Do you practice being the best reader, the best, I'm going to tell you about yourself? Or do you practice being, then baby, you're going to be the best at it. You're going to be the best checker ever. You understand? But we're not doing that. So here's your exercises. I told you I do mental, spiritual, and the physical. What would the healed me do today? In the situation that you're in right now, because some of y'all probably just finished cussing somebody out or just left work or y'all just sick of everybody and you mad. You don't want nothing to do with nobody. Y'all mad that y'all ain't doing or can do what you need to do and you done went off on somebody. But what if you was a healed person that you didn't curse, you didn't fight, you didn't do any of that? You was just able to say, okay, no. Or, when your man or your woman doing this and you're able to say, okay, you're not for me. And not have any feelings behind it. What would the healed me do today? That's what I want you to ask yourself. Now, your physical part. Movement that feels powerful. I want you to get up. I want you to move around. Something that feels powerful. I didn't say go pick up the refrigerator. I didn't say pick up the heaviest weights. I didn't say go pick up your pregnant wife and say, look, I can pick you up because baby, your back gonna hurt. Go and sit down. What I'm saying is powerful moves, meaning that read a book. Something that's a powerful move because reading that book is going to make you mentally strong, right? Do something that's different, that is powerful for you. And then I want you to meditate on your future self. Imagine what your future self is or what you created or want it to be and become that. That's how you become. You have to envision it first and then you have to become. And then also I want you to meditate on your future self, but I want you to journal. What does it mean or what does my future self look like to me? And then meditate on it. Your declaration is, I live as the healed version of myself. I live as the healed version of myself. Now, I like to do the tabletop talk. And the tabletop talk is, as you heal your environment. The people around you heal your environment. You change the way you communicate. Embodiment, this is what the tabletop talk is. Embodiment is the bridge between healing and transformation. So what I want you to say is, you could bring it to the table and say, What I learned about embodiment and becoming and being who I'm supposed to be is that it is the bridge. It was my bridge between healing and transformation. Healing and transformation taught me how to embody who I am today. Any type of way you want to bring it, but bring that up, and then you guys create a group chat. Every time and every day that you come on here and you get a tabletop talk, put it in a group chat. Because when you're healing, we always say this. When we unhealed, I love you, girl. I love you. I love you. I love you. You know what? That's my friend. But when you heal, it's just like, you going to be my downfall. You're not going to be good for me. No, Jesus never walked away from outside of when he picked his 12 disciples and he knew he was stepping in purpose. He didn't turn around to the rest of the world and say, hey, get away. I already got my 12. Y'all going to mess up the mission. No, he allowed them, to tax collectors and everybody, to be who they are. He continued to teach the 12 what he needed them to know in the moments and whatever mission that they were going to be or doing in their life. The other ones got to see him. They seen him when he first started and said, man, that's just Jesus from Nazareth. He's a carpenter. Whatever. I'm not thinking about that dude. What is he talking about? Then they start to come. Then some started to believe. Then some was still like, I don't know. But they started to see him change. And then they started to look within when they would hear the teaching, like, man, that was the whole purpose of Jesus. He wasn't sent here to just save 1, 2, 3, or 4. He was sent here to save the world. How do he save the world? He taught the 12 how to heal, how to become, how to operate. And then they went and taught more. And through the teachings, other people start to heal. So with me, I'm the coach that's going to save the world. How do I save the world? By teaching you how to heal. And then when I teach you, now you can take it and change your environment. So that's what the Tabletop Talk is about. Okay, that is the end of day 27.